As teachers, we often strive to help our students read, write, listen, and speak English as closely to a native speaker as possible. However, in regards to speech, few ever strongly consider accent a factor as well. Despite accent being viewed as a part of pronunciation, most teachers do not place strong emphasis on it in their curriculum, especially with older learners. However, there exists a justified need not just for English speakers, but also for native English-speaking accents around the world. The way we speak, whether we like to admit it or not, alters how individuals perceive us. Recent studies have shown that speakers with non-native accents, English or otherwise, are perceived as less trustworthy even when repeating statements made by native-sounding speakers. This means that foreign English speakers might be inadvertently discriminated upon because of their accent. In addition, accent can also create miscommunication and misunderstandings. As such, these types of communication problems may have negative effects on job performance, educational advancement, and everyday life activities. Non-native speakers who are already struggling to survive in a foreign culture would be at a severe disadvantage, as the perception of their accents would prevent them from succeeding as well as a native speaker. For some, such as refugees or foreign exchange students, failure to find employment or to succeed in education is not an option they can afford. Lastly, accents may also negatively affect self-esteem if the speaker is having trouble communicating because of an accent. For all these reasons, some people want to modify or change their accent. Through this project, different methods of accent modification and neutralization will be explored and evaluated. The first method will be early exposure. Also, I will investigate a form of surgery called phrenectomy, which has caused quite a stir on news websites, where it has claimed the ability to remove Korean accents through a simple and quick surgery. The last method I will examine for this project will be the speech modification training method. The project was divided into 4 basic parts: developing scale, acquiring sample data, analysis, and results. In the first part, a 5-point Likert scale for measuring the speech characteristics of the recorded samples was formulated. Next, English speakers were screened. All of the participants of the study were fluent in English to varying degrees and had varying backgrounds of language acquisition, but all of them used English daily. The participants who were not native speakers were instead Korean or Thai between the ages of 25 and 40. Most of the participants were residing in Korea or Thailand, while all the current native speakers resided in the United States or Canada. Voice samples were then recorded and placed into 4 groups: native speakers for the control group, ESL learners who acquired language during the critical period, ESL learners who acquired language beyond the critical period but took pronunciation exercises or speech modification training, and finally, native speakers of Asian heritage, who will be used to test the necessity of the lingual phrenectomy surgery procedure. The group they were assigned to depended upon their answers to the displayed questions. After the questionnaire, the participants were asked to read aloud the following script for recording. Dear Pen Pal, my name is Alex. I am from Texas. In the summer, I enjoy family barbecues and road trips. One day I hope to visit you in Argentina. I hope they have really delicious beef there. Have you been to Texas? If you come to visit, I will be sure to take you to our town rodeo. Sincerely, Alex. In the analysis step, native English speakers and foreign speakers then judged the voice samples based on the given scale. Finally, the results were analyzed and organized. Once the samples were recorded, they were judged by 3 American English native speakers, as well as 3 Koreans with English as a second language. The final results are displayed here along with the 5-point Likert scale. From the results we obtained, we could determine many things. First, though the native speakers were able to score so highly on this test, the fact that the participants who identified themselves as native speakers of Asian heritage scored equally as high showed that the usage of lingual phrenectomy surgery to create native-like speech in Asians is unnecessary. English speakers of Asian descent were able to acquire native-like speech without the need of surgical procedure. Next, from these results, we could also determine that the age of acquisition, though it does not always guarantee native-like speech, is in fact more successful than speech modification exercises. The gap between these 2 groups of speakers was significant, but only so with the non-native speaking judges. Between the native speakers, the gap was much smaller, showing that speech modification can close the gap somewhat, at least to native ears.